Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of short. I just simply want to talk about rest and what that personally means to me and what I kind of think God intends for us when it comes to rest. Something I heard years ago was that if the devil can't make you sin, he's going to keep you busy. And I think a lot of times the reason why he does that is because as long as he can keep you busy, you're always focusing on the next thing you have to do. You're always focusing on crossing off things off your to-do list, and you're always just so run dry and exhausted, and your focus isn't clear. It isn't focused on what maybe God has laid out for you to do. And I think a lot of our exhaustion sometimes come through us just striving after things that God has not intended for us to strive after, but it's more our wants and our desires, and it just has a way of sucking our well dry. And there's a song by Ken Holloway that says, "You can't draw water from a dry well. No matter how far you drill, you're gonna wind up with an empty pail because you can't draw water from a dry well." And being constantly busy does tend to dry your well out. And no matter how busy you stay, that constant drilling away, your pail constantly comes up empty. And I heard this sermon by David Platt. I know I linked it in my last video. I'll link it again down below, but it was kind of unique. At our church, we had a 2-part series that a visiting pastor came in and did, and it was about rest. It was about the Sabbath. And then David Platt's was also about rest. And something that just kind of stood out to me is that, one, God desires for us to make rest a priority, but remembering the Sabbath is also something that he has required of us, that he has placed before us, something that he himself partook in, because he knows that we need it, because our focus can finally be free of day-to-day circumstances, and it can be the day that we just sit back and we dwell with him more intentionally and less distractively. And something else that stood out to me, there was like 3 points I think I'm just gonna talk about. 1, I just mentioned it. 2 was, how are you intentionally remembering the Sabbath and keeping the Sabbath? And what are you instilling as kind of a practice, not in a legalistic way, but just this area of preparing yourself to remember the Sabbath, to keep the Sabbath, and to honor God in it. And that can look different for a lot of people. For me personally, I try to cut out technology and social media on Sundays. I'll log out of all my social media accounts, and I try to make sure that I don't have a screen during Sunday or the Sabbath. I know some people remember it on Saturdays. The Jews, I think, do. Anyways, I do Sundays. Okay. So, I try to read a book more. I try to just be more plugged in to maybe what God is trying to reveal to me. I'll spend more intentional time with him in the afternoon after church, typically after a nap, because I don't get naps during the week. So that's a great way to rest too, is you give your body extra sleep. For some people, it can be going and taking a walk. It can be a physical activity. For others, it can be playing a game. It just looks different, but things that just takes a load off your mind, that you're not bogged down with work and the constant striving of day-to-day life. So I guess that's a question that we all should ask ourselves, is how are we preparing ourselves to remember the Sabbath and to rest fully in it? And then the third thing that hit me between the eyes is that we don't just find rest in Christ on the Sabbath day, on Sundays. We can find it with him all throughout the week. It can be 5 minutes just sitting on your couch, in your chair. It can be driving down the road if you have a job where you have to drive. It can be sitting at your office desk and you just take time to sit there and you invite God into that moment. And you're like, Jesus, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling a little stressed. I'm just mentally tired and emotionally bogged down. Can you please come here into this moment with me and just give me the strength that I need to get through today? Can you give me the peace that my soul desperately desires? And I can say with 100% confidence that He will meet you right where you are, and He will give you the strength and the peace right there. And you can find rest for your souls right at that very moment. It doesn't just have to be on a Sunday. Jesus is our rest. He says, come to me all who are weary and I will give you rest. He is our rest, not just a Sunday. So I hope this video blesses you, and thanks for watching.